So you have an awesome newsletter. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this is a brainchild that we rolled around our head for 3 years before we actually kicked it off. About, I guess it's now about 2.5 years old. It's called The Successful Barrister. And one of our marketing strategies, our chief marketing strategy, is basically working our lawyer list. We have a list of about 4,000 lawyers that I've done work with over the years, whether they were defense counsel or within the trial lawyer organization or people I went to law school with. I've always collected names over the years, and over 27 years, we're now up to about 4,000 lawyers that I actually have some contact with. So the byline for The Successful Barrister are management, marketing, and life skills that probably won't get you disbarred, which kind of gives you a sense of what the newsletter is about. It's meant to be snarky. It's meant to be funny. We use caricatures throughout it. And what we do is we basically write articles about marketing and management and life skills within a law firm. If I did a newsletter about disability law to other lawyers, it'd get trashed. Nobody would want to read it. It wouldn't be, it would bore people to death. So our goal is to have actually people pay attention to it. So we put in cartoons, we have pithy little quotes, we summarize a lot of books that we read that we think other lawyers should be reading. So you don't have to read the whole thing, you can just read our summary. But that's the whole goal behind it, is to give something that lawyers would actually find useful, as opposed to, gee, this is the latest summary of the latest disability case that came out from the Fifth Circuit, which nobody, unless you do what I do, nobody would give a crap about that. So I don't want to bore people. I want something that people find interesting. So we really don't talk about anything we do other than on the very back page. We kind of have a little display ad about what we do. And then I have about 6 books that I've published. So we'll feature one of our books on the front page as well. But other than that, it's not about us. It's about things that can help other lawyers. And that's kind of the goal behind it.
And does it convert?
So what we have found is that about 35% of our business comes directly from other lawyers. And what we do, you're not going to send me 10 or 20 cases a year. You might send me 1 case every year, maybe once every other year. If you're lucky, you might send me 2 cases a year. So I know that there's not a lot of frequency out there. So what we have to do is we have to have a lot of breadth. So, that's why we mail to 4,000 attorneys. So establishing what's your return on investment, you have to kind of look at it in the big picture. You can't look at it in 1 month and say, hey, we got X number of cases off this newsletter. I can tell you over the last year, we've gotten about 300 to 400 cases from other lawyers. So how do I get these cases from these other lawyers? Well, there has to be some way to connect with these. So when you look at the big macro picture and look at your numbers at the end of the year, we think it is very successful. It's also funny, I go to like an AAJ convention and people that I can barely remember walk up to me like, hey, you're the newsletter guy. So, we know it works. How to put an ROI to it, it's sometimes a little difficult. And sometimes you just have to live with the fact that you're going by anecdotal evidence, but we think it works pretty well. Obviously 300 or 400 cases a year that we're signing up from the lawyers, they got to get to us somehow.